This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. I don't really want this channel and what I do here to turn into a Bible study every time I talk about Republicans. I'm not particularly religious. I'm not religious at all. I was raised the way I was raised, and I don't want to beat that drum constantly about having been raised in a wildly radical, right-wing, evangelical, Christian nationalist household. A Trump household. A household that venerated Ronald Reagan as some kind of a God-adjacent figure. Something that I'm getting very tired of, supremely sickened by, if you will, is these posers. I almost said posers, but I want to keep this PG, so I won't call them posers. Like Brian Mast, Republican from Florida, this evangelical right-wing radical who donned the uniform of the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, and then traipsed through the United States Capitol the other day in his IDF uniform that he volunteered for a couple of weeks or something, making sure supplies were on the right shelves. He wasn't in combat. He was for the United States, though, lost his legs at the hands of an IED. Certainly served his country, ostensibly served his country well, but then ran for Congress and is nothing but a poser. He said on the House floor yesterday, compared all Palestinians to Nazis. I'm going to play that clip, but before I do, I want to send you away with this scripture in mind from Matthew. Matthew 19:14 says, and this is from Jesus, this is the red letters of the Bible. When you hear about red letter editions of the Bible, it's where in the New Testament, anything that Jesus said with his mouth is printed in red, so you know this is from God, ostensibly. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children, and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." Jesus said this. The man that Brian Mast claims is his God, is his particular deity that he worships. Suffer the little children to come unto me. Forbid them not, for this is the kingdom of heaven. A traditionally marginalized community of individuals are children. They don't have full rights. They're taken care of. They need to be taken care of. But Brian Mast is going to, and I'm going to get to it. I got CIA fact books stats here, not from the Hamas Health Ministry or any other demographic organization. This is from the United States Central Intelligence Agency and what they say the demographics of the West Bank and Gaza are, the Palestinian people. That he is claiming, Brian Mast, that all Palestinians are like Nazis, and we can't call them innocent civilians, just like you wouldn't call innocent civilians in Nazi Germany. I'm getting very tired of these posers who, one, claim to be one thing relative to their deeply held religious beliefs, and then do another thing, but also this weird adherence that they have to Israel that is born out of only their death cult that they're a part of. That they have to make sure that these certain prophetic words that they believe, they must make them happen or Jesus won't come back. Watch Brian Mast be as ghoulish a poser as he can be.
As a whole, I would encourage the other side to not so lightly throw around the idea of innocent Palestinian civilians, as is frequently said. I don't think we would so lightly throw around the term innocent Nazi civilians during World War II.
This is gross. This is bigoted. This is sickening talk from Brian Mast, who purports to be, who claims to be, who puts himself out there as a follower of Jesus Christ. I would encourage the other side. Thanks for the help, Brian Mast, on messaging and talk tracks. I would encourage the other side to not so lightly throw around the idea of innocent Palestinian civilians, as is frequently said. I don't think we would lightly throw around the term innocent Nazi civilians. In what way are Palestinians Nazis, Brian Mast? Nazi is not an ethnicity. Dumb shit. Children are innocent by virtue of them being children. They don't have a say. They cannot consent. They didn't vote in 2006 for the governmental mechanisms of Hamas being in leadership in Gaza. Here are those stats. CIA fact book, again, compiled by the United States government. This isn't from any outside source. The population, 2.1 million people. Those under the age of 15, 40%, 39.75% are 0 to 14 years old. They didn't have a say in this. They didn't get a vote in 2006. Are they not innocent, Brian Mast? Would you suffer the little children to come unto Christ? Would you? Christian Brian Mast, death cult member Brian Mast. You're a disgusting reprobate. You are perverting your own belief system for a political agenda that is a white Christian nationalist agenda. Faking, I'm going to go join the IDF and be a volunteer to show my solidarity with Israel. Nary a word about literal Nazis marching through the streets of Florida, his home state, none. Nothing to say about that. But I stand with the people of Israel. I stand in solidarity with the Jews while he suffers the little children. Or does not suffer the little children to come unto Christ. This is the state of the Republican Party today in America. We have people who, everything is political theater. And if this guy isn't really a true believer, I can't imagine he is a true believer in the Bible, in the New Testament, in the teachings of Christ, because he's certainly not living it. He's certainly not following the teachings. He's not exemplifying them. He's not emblematic of the teachings of Jesus Christ. For him, it's a prop. Much like the Constitution, much like his oath to support and defend that Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These people are ghouls. How dare they make a charge that all Palestinians are Nazis, a population that is being wiped out as we speak. And the vast majority of those being wiped out aren't enemy combatants. They're children. They are kids. They are blameless. And Brian Mast has the temerity to encourage the other side not to so lightly throw around innocent Palestinian civilians. You f***ing poser. What do you think? I'd love to know. Look, again, two ideas can be held that seem contradictory, can be held at the same time. You can mourn, you can weep for those killed in the terrorist attack predicated by Hamas, the Israelis, the Jewish people. You can do so and also be outraged that children, thousands and thousands of Palestinian kids, are dying at the hands of the IDF and their carpet bombing of apartment complexes in a place that they cannot escape from. They're not allowed to leave. Again, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can email me, daily@dollemore.com. You can also just leave a comment below. Maybe that's the most direct way to have a conversation about this. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, Blue Sky, all of them. I'd love to see you there at Dollemore. And if you appreciate what I do, the volume at which I do it, I would appreciate you considering supporting my work, helping produce what we do here. Click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member. Even better, you can go over to my Patreon page. We're getting ready to send out our end of the year Patreon gift. Even if you wanted to switch your support from YouTube to Patreon, go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. That's a fantastic way to take part there. Or hit the super thanks button. Buy some merch. Make sure you're subscribed. There's a bunch of ways to support that aren't dealing with money, and I appreciate all of them. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Hopefully less pissed off. No guarantees. Be genuine and take care of one another.